When people reach their mid-60s and beyond, something inside them shifts in a way that younger folks often can't fully understand. Life doesn't speed up anymore, it settles. The rush fades, the demands soften, and the constant pressure to prove yourself finally begins to dissolve. What rises in its place is a kind of quiet clarity, the sort that only comes from decades of surviving, loving, losing, rebuilding, and learning what truly matters. It's not that older adults stop caring, they simply start caring differently. They no longer chase every conversation. They don't hold on to every opinion. They don't lose sleep over every disagreement. And they discover something powerful. Peace becomes more valuable than praise. Dignity becomes more important than being understood. And privacy becomes a quiet form of self-respect. Over the years, Sam has watched many elders navigate this season of life. Neighbors, parents, friends, even strangers met in passing. Different stories, different families, different personalities, yet a familiar pattern always emerges. The ones who seem the calmest, the strongest, the most grounded are those who learn to guard certain parts of themselves with gentle firmness. They realize that not everything about their life needs to be placed on the table for discussion. Not out of secrecy, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Today, he shares 4 things many people over 65 choose to keep private, not to create distance, but to protect the inner world that took a lifetime to build. These are insights gathered from years of living, listening, and witnessing what brings elders peace, and what quietly takes it away. As you listen, notice which truths speak to you. Aging has a way of opening the heart exactly where it needs opening. 1. Their ongoing emotional battles. People often assume that growing older means growing unshakable. But every elder knows that emotion doesn't disappear with age. It simply becomes quieter, deeper, and more private. There are wounds that still ache, regrets that still whisper at night, old conflicts that were never fully resolved, loneliness that visits during long afternoons, memories that stir unexpectedly and sting in ways others will never see. Younger family members may think, she's strong, she's lived a long life, she must be fine. But inside, older adults still feel deeply. They just choose to discuss these emotions with more care. Why? Because experience has taught them that not every feeling needs an audience. Not every pain needs a reaction. Not every concern needs family analysis, panic, or judgment. Some elders once tried opening up, only to be misunderstood, dismissed, or told to let it go. So they learned another form of strength, quiet processing. They tend to their emotions privately through reflection, prayer, journaling, long walks, or moments of stillness. This isn't hiding. This isn't avoidance. This is emotional maturity. Some storms are best navigated internally, where the heart can breathe without interruption. 2. Their private dreams and personal longings. People assume dreams belong to the young, but many of the most meaningful dreams come later in life, at an age when people finally have time to ask themselves what they want. Older adults still carry hopes for the future. They imagine small changes, new hobbies, different routines. They have travel dreams, creative dreams, peaceful dreams, and sometimes dreams they've carried quietly since childhood. But they share these privately, because the moment an older adult expresses a new desire, someone inevitably steps in with doubt. You don't need that. Isn't that too risky? You should be practical now. That's not necessary at your age. The dream gets dismissed before it even has a chance to breathe. So many seniors learn to nurture their ambitions, softly, quietly. A class they take without telling anyone. A project they start in the early morning. A new place they daydream about. A small, bucket list wish they save for. slowly but surely. A private dream isn't selfish. It's sacred. It reminds an older adult that the soul doesn't retire. It keeps reaching. And truthfully, some dreams grow stronger when protected from other people's doubts. 3. Their boundaries with each family member. Ing brings a deep understanding that love is not enough by itself. It must be paired with boundaries, gentle, firm, steady boundaries, to survive the complexities of family dynamics. Older adults begin to understand themselves more clearly: who drains their energy, who respects their time, who listens without judgment, who pushes buttons on purpose, who brings peace into the room, and who brings tension with every call. They don't say this out loud. They don't label or criticize. They simply adjust. Some family members get more access. Some get less. Some conversations stay light. Some topics remain off limits. Some relationships require patience. Others require distance. Wisdom teaches them that stating boundaries directly often leads to arguments, guilt trips, or misunderstandings. So instead, older adults enforce their limits quietly and consistently. They answer the phone when they want to, not out of obligation. They offer help when they have the energy, not when pressured. They choose neutrality instead of taking sides in family conflicts. They say less about their choices to avoid unnecessary debate. These are not walls, they are quiet fences that protect peace. The wisest elders know this. Boundaries unspoken are often more powerful than boundaries argued about. 4. Their real level of physical or mental decline. This is the most private truth of aging, and perhaps the most misunderstood. Even with close family, older adults often keep their deeper struggles to themselves. They minimize discomfort. They hide small memory slips. They push through stiffness or dizziness. They pretend the fatigue isn't getting worse. They say, "I'm fine," even when they're not. Not because they want to deceive anyone, but because they want to be treated with respect, not pity. They fear becoming a project. They fear being overprotected. They fear decisions being made for them instead of with them. They fear losing their independence in tiny, gradual steps. And they've seen how quickly family members can panic, take control, or unintentionally strip away autonomy, even from a place of love. So older adults reveal what is necessary, when it is necessary. Not every ache, or not every worry, not every change they sense within themselves. This is not denial, it's dignity. Aging is something a person lives, feels, and accepts privately, long before sharing it aloud. Again and again, Sam has seen that the elders who carry the deepest peace are the ones who protect the most important parts of themselves with gentle strength. They understand that a private life is not an empty one. It is a curated one. Privacy becomes a way of caring for their own heart. Silence becomes a cushion for their nervous system. Boundaries become a soft armor that keeps their spirit safe. They know they don't owe every detail of their life to anyone, not even those they love most. They know that protecting their inner world isn't selfish, it's survival. They know that once peace is lost, it takes enormous effort to rebuild. And the truth is simple. You don't have to explain, justify, or expose every part of yourself to be loved. Keep what feels sacred. Protect what feels fragile. Guard what keeps you steady. Let your heart be yours, fully, quietly, unapologetically. Before you go, share in the comments. What's one thing you've learned to keep private for your own peace? Your words may be exactly what someone else needs today.